also want to thank members of Congress, local leaders, and governors for joining us here today, including Governor Ivey of Alabama, a new and great governor. He will be fantastic. I've been hearing about you for years in the most positive way, so I'm not surprised that you're governor of Alabama. Congratulations.
Well, we are certainly in touch with the White House about that. We are staying ready to send out Alabama National Guard where they're needed, but right now we're on standby, but we'll be ready. Already we're protecting Birmingham and Montgomery with the new MAX unit, so we're prepared and we're not going to tolerate any misbehavior. It's their job to take care of themselves and us as well. We can't do that for them.
A sleepy strip of asphalt just outside of Mobile city limits, bordered by a house here and there and acres of carefully cropped farmland. But tonight, that strip of asphalt bears the disturbing stains of a crime that has shaken this rural community to the core. It was a crime that began more than 2 miles away at this Circle K convenience store at Schillinger Road and Three Notch Road. That's where police say this man, 30-year-old Jacob Cross, was sitting in his vehicle arguing with a woman in the parking lot. Moments later, say investigators, a man rode up on his bicycle and tried to intervene on the woman's behalf.
Hey! Jacob Cross!
That's the man in blue. He and Sam Walker duke it out at the Circle K gas station at Schillinger and Three Notch in Tillman's Corner Wednesday night. Police say Walker saw Cross arguing with a woman. He exchanged words with Cross, leading to this all-out brawl. After the fight, police say Cross intentionally ran over Walker. A man who works across the street says his friend saw the whole thing.
They blocked off the parking lot after everything had went down. He wound up going to leave and backed over him, and he got stuck underneath the vehicle.
Surveillance footage shows Cross leaving the gas station. Police quickly follow tire tracks back to Cross's house 2 miles away on Dawes Lane East. Walker was found dead right next to Cross's car, which was soon towed.
The subject got out of the vehicle, wasn't happy with whatever was said, and at that point began physically assaulting him, punching him. At one point, he was on the ground.
Police spokesperson Blake Brown says the driver, identified as Cross, then got back into his vehicle, and as Walker struggled to get up from the pavement,
the subject got back into his vehicle and drove over the victim and drove the victim with him trapped underneath his vehicle for about 2 miles back to a residence.
A residence on that quiet country lane in the Dawes community, leaving evidence behind that, as one resident told us, couldn't even be completely washed away by a local fire department. On this day after the crime, there is still evidence of what happened on this highway, but we're not going to show it to you. Unsettling, gut-wrenching. Feelings being shared by every person that we spoke with today in the Dawes community. Thoughts and emotions too personal to share on camera. Images too indelible to forget.
The video is pretty jarring to see.
That's a 100-round drum that was on the one you just saw. And it's a AR platform pistol. The one you just saw with the wooden stock is an SKS or AK-47 type pistol, that one right there. And then the one flashing the laser with the cup in his hand is a pistol with a laser on it.
It appears to show young men, all armed, dancing in a gas station parking lot, smiles on their faces. The time on the video says it's just after 1 a.m. Mobile County Sheriff Paul Birch showing me this video, and he says it's not even in an area with a high crime rate.
A residence on that quiet country lane.
There are a lot of people who take wild guesses where this happened, but it's actually in West Mobile at Greenlock and Knollwood.
The sheriff says the activity on its own isn't technically illegal due to the open carry law passed 2 years ago in Alabama.
Proposed bill in Alabama has law enforcement up in arms this evening. If passed, Senate Bill 24 would repeal the pistol permit requirement, meaning anyone in the state over the age of 18 could conceal carry without a permit.
It is our big story right now at 5. Local 15's Jasmine Williams talked to Mobile Sheriff Sam Cochran, who is calling this a dangerous discussion. Jasmine?
Yeah, that's right, Greg. Kim, he said this bill is explosive. He said if passed, there will be guns everywhere, especially in unlocked cars.
Mardi Gras in Mobile is a time for revelry and for some an opportunity for crime. Latest numbers from Mobile police show that so far this year alone, 13 guns have been stolen from unlocked cars during the parades.
This would be a terrible law to be passed.
Mobile County Sheriff Sam Cochran says a newly proposed bill would only add to these stats. Alabama Senate Bill 24 is calling for the state to do away with the pistol permit requirement. If passed, the proposed bill would allow anyone over the age of 18 to buy a gun and conceal carry. Supporters of the bill, including gun rights group Bama Carry, say the right to bear arms is a constitutional right and no one should have to pay to enjoy that freedom.
That's shocking that people think that that's okay to get out there and act like that. You know, just it's a reckless behavior with a firearm.
But he says it's about the people in the video.
A Halloween display is the talk of the community. It shows skeletons dressed as ICE agents chasing others, wearing sombreros and ponchos, climbing the fence to avoid being detained. And this is not just anybody's home. This is Mobile County Sheriff Paul Birch's front yard, who is running for re-election next year.
It's shocking that people think that that's okay to get out there and act like that.
But his wife, Michelle Alfonso Birch, says she put up the decorations, not her husband. In a statement, she said, quote, "Every year I make tongue-in-cheek Halloween decorations with a topical theme at my home. My husband has nothing to do with these, other than mowing the grass around them." This display has sparked a range of reactions, from people calling it offensive to others saying it's harmless. Hundreds of people responded to our WKRG Facebook post about the Halloween display. Kristen Alice commented, "This is embarrassing. What kind of message does this send, and then to be at the home of a sheriff?" But Precious Battles says,
"Great idea, so creative."
Most people who commented are in support of the decorations, but 2 Latino organizations are opposed to it. We spoke to activist Grace Resandez McCaffrey, owner of Latino Media Gulf Coast, who drove from Pensacola to see the display herself.
Disappointing. Sad.
Birch says she's using current events and her heritage to make a point. "I made this one playing both on my Cuban background and knew needed changes in federal immigration enforcement. My parents were legal immigrants, and I have plenty of immigrants throughout my family."
Jaw-dropping video into the Fox 10 newsroom showing what appears to be young men dancing with guns in their hands in a gas station parking lot in West Mobile.
And tonight the sheriff is calling that behavior reckless and brazen. He says he's going to do something about it.
This is the Stimson administration and the Mobile chief of police deal with what they have called a power struggle between the two.
Mayor Sandy Stimson released a statement this afternoon after putting police chief Paul Prine on administrative leave. Prine announced last night he'll retire.
WKRG News 5's Asher Red has been following the new developments today. He joins us now in the studio. And Asher, the mayor says he was disappointed in Prine's leadership.
Yeah, well, today has been nothing but finger pointing and mudslinging between Paul Prine and the city of Mobile. Now, reflecting on a moment that disappointed him, Mayor Sandy Stimpson quoted Prine as saying, "Don't pay attention to what I say in the media. F the public." Calls to Mobile Police Chief Paul Prine go unanswered.
Your call has been forwarded to an automated voice messaging system.
And his voicemail box is full.
Paul Prine is not available.
The city placed Prine on administrative leave Tuesday evening. This comes after former U.S. Attorney Kenyon Brown led a third-party review of the police department's policies and procedures. Stimpson says in a statement, quote, "Practice within the department are not matching up with the policies, procedures, and training." He goes on to say that Prine made inappropriate comments early in his tenure. According to Stimpson, Prine's authoritative leadership drew concern from the administration. Stimpson says Prine, quote, "openly advises that he uses fear in his management approach." The mayor says the city approached Prine about 2 weeks ago with a retirement plan and a severance package. Instead of accepting or denying the city's plan, Stimpson says Prine, quote, "began packing up his office and became absent from his duty."
And today is the day that I announce my candidacy for mayor.
Former Mobile Police Chief Paul Prine announcing his candidacy for mayor of Mobile earlier this morning in Government Plaza. Prine says his campaign is focusing on three things: safety, career development, and economic growth.
Kim, the sponsor, Senator Gerald Allen, says that citizens should not have to pay to exercise their Second Amendment rights.
Alabama is an open to carry state, but you need a permit to carry a firearm in your car, purse, or underneath your clothes. If Allen's bill passes, it will remove the permit requirement and the penalties for not having a gun permit. Mobile County Sheriff Sam Cochran considers the change a threat to the community.
Then anybody could carry guns in their car, people 18 years of age and teenagers, and it's just would put more guns on the street.
The sheriff appeared on Midday Mobile with Sean Sullivan and says there's already a major problem with guns being stolen from vehicles. And he says the money from permit fees helps equip his deputies. Gun store employee Ruster Schultz says he sees no need to remove permits.
I'm all for keeping it in place. We got something that works, let's keep it.
Caitlin Danny says she has a permit and carries a pistol in her purse.
I feel like at least I have, a little bit of security in case I'm ever in that situation.
But she says she won't feel safe if this bill passes. Danley believes everyone who carries a weapon should go through a background check.
It's a serious thing. I don't think somebody just off the street, random, that doesn't know how to use the gun should just have a gun. You should definitely have a permit.
The bill was passed by Alabama Senate in 2017, but it didn't pass in the House. March 5th legislature will begin session. Sheriff Cochran says if it does make it through the House this time, law enforcement will continue to fight it.
I think all of law enforcement, or at least 90-something%, is opposed to it. We see it as a safety for police officers, but also we see it as a safety thing for our citizens.
Alabamians will be able to carry a concealed gun without a permit, despite opposition from law enforcement. This would make Alabama the 22nd state in the nation to do so. Now that the bill has been signed into law by Governor Kay Ivey, it has a lot of people asking, what happens now? As NBC 15's Lisa Labrignac explains, some people are still not going anywhere without a permit in their hands once it takes effect.
Well, I've always been a Second Amendment supporter, and this is a good bill, and I'm proud to sign it.
But tonight, that strip of asphalt bears the disturbing stains of a crime that has shaken this rural community to the core.
We're here not only to grieve, but also to stand together and to declare that KJ's life matters. Yeah. His story matters, and his memory will not fade away quietly.
An emotional night for the family of 3-year-old Keturrius Starks Jr. Starks was found dead inside a hot car on Pine Tree Drive in Birmingham on July 22nd. He was in the custody of a contracted DHR worker.
And we learned today that worker, identified as Keila Stanford, has been arrested and charged in connection with KJ's death. Today, the family held a press conference following that announcement and a vigil in his honor. ABC 3340's Olivia Gauthier was in Bessemer this evening and joins us now from the newsroom. And Olivia, the family is demanding answers.
Yes, Muriel, the family is heartbroken and they say that KJ should be here today and that it was negligence on behalf of not only the DHR worker, but also the Alabama State Department of Human Resources. The family says since KJ's passing, there has been absolute radio silence from DHR. No response, no condolences, and no answers. Friday night in Bessemer, the community gathered with balloons and candles to uplift the life of 3-year-old KJ.
We're very grateful that you're here. Please keep staying with us until this investigation is over, so we can see justice and to make sure this never happened to another child.
Now the family is simply asking for answers and asking that accountability be taken so no other family experiences such a loss. Last week, police say KJ died after being left inside a hot vehicle for hours while in the care of contracted DHR worker Keila Stanford. Attorneys for the family say after picking KJ up from a visit with his father, Stanford made multiple stops before returning to her home and not returning KJ to daycare. Authorities say KJ was likely left in the car for around 5 hours before being discovered.
This week, New York Congressman Jerry Nadler asked the U.S. Treasury Department to block Alabama from using federal COVID funds to build prisons, writing, quote, "The American Rescue Plan is a historic effort to provide urgent assistance in a time of great suffering. It should not be used to worsen our national problem of over-incarceration." Governor Ivey shot back on Twitter, accusing Nadler of overstepping and insisting the funds can be used for, quote, lost revenue.
Nothing about this is going to be easy.
The governor's urgency to address the prison problem stemming in part from a lawsuit filed by the Department of Justice last year that alleged conditions and the violence in Alabama's prisons violate the U.S. Constitution.
Well, we now know the name of the new prison being built in Elmore County. It will be named for Governor Kay Ivey, and it will be called the Governor Kay Ivey Correctional Complex. Prison Commissioner John Hamm proposed that idea, and the governor gave her blessing. Hamm says no governor in Alabama's history has done more to improve the state's correction system. The new billion-dollar prison is being built as part of a larger plan that includes 2 mega prisons to relieve overcrowding and violence behind bars, concerns raised by the U.S. Justice Department.